Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty big happening in India's legal system.
Yeah, the whole integration of artificial intelligence. It's quite the transformation.
Absolutely. We've got some material here outlining how AI is finding its way into Indian courts.
Right.
And our goal, really, is to pull out the key info, the potential upsides, but also, the practical side of things.
The nuts and bolts of making it work.
Exactly. The sources talk about AI and case management, legal research, even helping with decisions, which is interesting.
Definitely. Okay, so where should we start? Maybe with the efficiency aspect?
Good idea. The sheer volume of legal data is staggering, right?
Yeah.
Case law, statutes.
Absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
And finding that one crucial precedent, traditionally that could take ages, days, even weeks sometimes.
Right. But now, these AI tools, they can just churn through vast amounts of text data.
Incredibly quickly, yeah. Analyzing it, finding relevant cases, maybe even spotting connections a human researcher might overlook under pressure.
So for lawyers, that's a huge time saver.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine getting that foundational research done, way faster.
It frees them up for more complex analysis, strategy.
Yeah.
The human element.
And it's not just research, is it? The sources mention case management, too.
Automating things like scheduling court hearings, managing evidence submissions, the administrative grunt work.
Which, let's be honest, can bog down the system.
Oh.
So automation could mean things move quicker, more accessible.
That's the hope. Streamlining those processes could potentially reduce delays, make the whole system feel a bit less cumbersome for everyone.
So lawyers get info faster, courts run smoother. What about the judges? You mentioned decision support.
Yeah, this is where it gets potentially more groundbreaking and maybe a bit more complex.
Right.
They're developing AI algorithms that can analyze case data, identify patterns, maybe even predict potential outcomes based on past precedents.
Whoa. Okay, so assisting judges in making informed decisions, that sounds powerful.
It is. And one intriguing idea mentioned is whether AI could help reduce unconscious bias by focusing purely on the data points.
Promoting fairness through algorithms. That's a fascinating prospect.
But it immediately brings up serious ethical questions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You can't talk about AI making justice-related suggestions without talking ethics and practical challenges.
Exactly. The sources highlight these risks. What if the AI itself has biases baked into its algorithm, learned from historical data that reflects past inequalities?
That's a huge concern. If the data is biased, the AI output could perpetuate or even amplify that bias.
Precisely, which leads to the absolute need for transparency. How do these algorithms work? What data were they trained on?
We need to be able to scrutinize them. Accountability is key. Who is responsible if an AI system gives flawed advice or analysis?
And that underscores the role of human oversight. These systems can be tools, powerful aids maybe, but the final judgment.
That has to remain human, surely.
Yeah.
Applying legal principles, understanding context, empathy, AI can't replicate that.
Not currently, no. So human judges need to be in control, using AI as support, not a substitute. We need clear ethical frameworks, guidelines for how this tech is deployed.
Right, rules of the road are essential before we go too far down this path.
Definitely.
So looking ahead then, despite the challenges, there's still potential, right? The sources seem to suggest AI could genuinely revolutionize things.
The potential is definitely there. Imagine if routine legal tasks become faster and cheaper. Could that improve access to justice for ordinary people?
That would be a massive positive outcome.
But it depends on getting it right. Continued research, careful development, focusing on overcoming these challenges we've talked about. Bias, transparency, oversight.
Responsible adoption is the key phrase, I suppose.
It has to be. It's a fast-moving field, so the legal profession, the judiciary, they'll need to keep learning and adapting as the technology evolves.
It's certainly a transformative period, lots of potential, but also a lot to be cautious about.
A balancing act. Enthusiasm for the possibilities tempered with a critical eye on the implementation.
So, a final thought for you listening. AI clearly offers exciting ways to make the Indian legal system potentially more efficient. But as we've discussed, the practical side, how we actually use it, is critical. So given these rapid changes, what do you think are the most vital practical steps? What does the legal profession and society really need to do now to make sure these powerful technologies are used effectively and, crucially, responsibly in our courts?
That's the question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. That's it for this deep dive.